come along as I sand and refinish these 80-year-old floors in historic Melbourne Village, Florida. Now, this building is a historic building. This is the Hester Wagner Community Center in Melbourne Village, and it's got kind of a cool history to it. This building was built in 1941. It was a barracks at the U.S. Naval Station during World War II. It was used during the war, and then once the war ended, it was counted as surplus. And once the base became what is now Patrick Air Force Base, they decided to get rid of the building. And so what they did is they put it on a barge. They cut up the building, put it on a barge, and floated it down the Indian River and put it where it is today. They ended up putting it on some trucks and trucking it down U.S. Highway 192 to Melbourne Village and placed it where it sits today. Now, the building is used today as kind of a community center. It's been used for decades and decades and decades for different clubs, for dancing clubs, for weddings and receptions, that sort of thing, and it can be rented out nowadays. But kind of a cool history to the building. I thought it was interesting anyways. I just like to picture this big old building on a barge floating down the river. I think that's kind of crazy, but that's how it is where it's at today. So pretty cool. But what we're doing is restoring this floor back to what it would have been originally. Now, there is a weird coating on this floor, almost like an epoxy. When I would go to scrape the corners or scrape these low spots, that sort of thing, the finish was flaking off. It was not scraping normal, and this, I mean, it was killing my sandpaper. So my thought is that it's like an old school, like an epoxy finish. I don't know. It was interesting. I don't know. Maybe some of you longtime flooring guys can let me know if they used to use like an epoxy. This is definitely not a polyurethane, or definitely not multiple coats of polyurethane. It almost seemed like a glass layer, or almost like an aluminum oxide, but I don't think that they would have had aluminum oxide back then. But I don't know what it was. Either way, this floor ate up my sandpaper. So we started with 40 grit, we moved to 60 grit, then we moved to 80 grit, going over these floors. Trying to get them as flat as I can get them. Obviously, you can see that big line right down the middle, and that's where I'm assuming, I don't know this for a fact, it's where I'm assuming they cut this building in half in order to transport it way back in the day. So in the middle, it was almost a big peak, if you can imagine. It was way higher in the middle than it was down to the edges. I don't know if the building had maybe settled or sunk in around the edges, or what the deal was with that, but I kind of did my best I could to, get everything flat as I could, as well as try and knock down some of that where it was so high in the middle. But anyway, once I got it done with the 80 grit, here I am buffing. The lights are all on. It's dark outside. I worked some long, late nights this week. It had to be done this week, and so it was a lot of nights working until 6:37 at night. And so happy to get it done, though. Man, it was a bear. This one beat me up for sure. Usually I'm okay on these, and my back isn't killing me, and my legs are fine. This one beat me up. Happy to get it coated, though, which is what you see me doing now. We're putting an oil-based polyurethane on it. It's one that I use a lot. It's Bona Dry Fast Sealer. And this is just considered a natural refinish. So it is oil-based, so it's that darker, richer color. Some people don't like it. It's kind of an old-school look, but other people love it. So we're applying that. It takes about 4 to 6 hours to dry. So, and this is in the late evening on Thursday is how long it took me to get to the point of coating it. And Thursday evening, put that coat on, let it dry overnight. Then we returned Friday morning to buff it, which you see me doing here. So we buffed that with a conditioning pad and some 200 grit sanding tape, kind of going over the whole floor. It's almost like the floor is in sections. I don't know if you can see that there. Like 6 by 10 sections. I don't know. It's interesting floor for sure. Not not like some of the others you've seen me do on this channel. So once it's all buffed and cleaned up, we are ready to apply the finish coats. We did 2 coats of Bona Traffic HD. This is a semi-gloss finish, and going over it. So here you see me doing the first of those coats. It took about 2 hours to dry today. Then we came back and started applying the final coat, which you see me doing now. So I did include some before and afters at the end of this video, as well as a picture of their community village or historic center. They have a sign out front that kind of gives some more of the history of the building. So in case you're interested in reading some of that, I tried to kind of paraphrase it, but in case you're interested in reading some more, I left a picture of that as well. So here's some before and afters. You'll have to tell me what you think in the comments, what you would have done differently, or if you love it, let me know. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye!